Okay, so we left here trying to figure out if 1055 is a solution. Well, first of all, we have to kind of look at this point and see what is it telling you. The 10 here is in the X position, and then the 55 is in the Y. We always write our points in XY form. So in our table up here, the X column, oops, happened to be our time, and then the Y was distance. So when I go look at this and kind of decipher what this point is saying is that this is your time, and then this was the distance walked. So your point gives you a whole bunch of information. So this is saying Miss Dean, if she walks 10 seconds, does she walk 55 meters? So one way to figure that out would be to actually do some math. Okay, if she's walking 1.5 meters every second, so I'm going to say 1.5 meters every second. Well, she's got 10 of them. That would give us 15 meters plus the 45-meter head start. That actually gives me 60 meters that she walked. So did she get the 55? No. So this point is not a solution. But could be a different solution for another person. The only way it would be a solution is if at 10 meters she ended up getting the 60, not the 55. Okay. All right, so we're going to go through a similar problem to something that you might see on your homework. Let's say Sophia charges $10 to start babysitting and $3 every hour after that. Oops, you are after that. Dylan charges $5 every hour. What we want to do is kind of figure out what's happening with both of these kids and look at some information about their tables. So let's look at Sophia first. Kind of circle that, square it. Let's look at her hours worked. We'll do that in H versus dollars earned. And we'll put D for dollars. Okay, so if she starts babysitting and works 0 hours, she still ends up getting the $10 to start no matter what, which is nice for her. So she's got that banked. But as soon as she works an hour, she's got $3 more, putting her at 13. And then 2 hours, she's got $3 more, putting her at 16. 3 hours, she's got 19. 4 hours, she's got 21. And we can see here in this table, every single hour, we've added 3 more. 13 plus 3 gives me the 16. 16 plus 3 gives me the 19. 19 plus 3 is not 21, it is 22. Whoops. Okay, and then if I wanted to work 5 hours, she would be $3 more, which would be 25. Okay, so again, this number 3 shows up super duper handy, shows up in this problem as well. This is her rate of change. Okay, and then we also needed to know what did she start with? Well, she started with $10. Here at hour 0, she started with 10. So we should be able to do a little bit of information about her. Okay, let's look at Dylan. His hours versus dollars earned. Put D for dollars. All right, so Dylan, if he doesn't work at all, he's only getting $5 every hour. If he doesn't work any hours, he's not going to get anything. So right now, Sophia probably has the better deal. All right, 1 hour, he gets $5. 2 hours, 2 5s, which give me 10. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can make this a little better here. Okay. All right, 1 hour, he had $5. 2 hours, 10. 3 hours, 15. 4 hours, 20. 5 hours, 25. And we can see in his table every single time he's increasing 5. Plus 5 gives me 10. Plus 5 gives me 15. Plus 5 gives me 20. Plus 5 gives me 25. If I wanted the next one, I'd have to add 5 more, which would put me at 30. Okay, so we can see at 5 hours, both people get the same amount of money, but in any hour before that, Sophia's probably getting more money. After that, it looks like Dylan's getting more money. So 6 hours here would be 28. Yep. Okay. All right, so let's look at some information for them. So I'm going to look at the y-intercept and the coefficient. Y-intercept, remember, is your starting amount. So the starting amount for Sophia was $10. Her coefficient, the number we put next to the variable, her rate of change was 3. His he started with nothing, so I'm going to put 0 there. And his coefficient, his rate of change, every single time he had $5. So when we look at the equations for these two, we have every bit of information that we need. We're going to use y equals mx plus b. Instead of y, we're trying to find her dollar amount, so we'll put d equals rate of change. M is your rate, which we know was 3. X was the time, so we'll put, I think we did, what did we use for our variable? Oh, H for hours worked, plus the $10 to start. So this equation is saying her dollar amount earned is equal to $3 for every hour plus the $10 to start. Let's look at the equation over here. All right, so we'll start with y equals mx plus b. Instead of y, we're trying to find the dollar amount is equal to his rate of change. His coefficient was $5 per hour plus the $0 to start. Now, math, you don't really need the plus 0 to start, but we can keep it there just to show that our starting amount is 0. Okay, I believe on your homework they might ask you about independent variables. Okay, independent variable. I like to think of that as what, I guess, what are we using what you're using to find the dependent variable. The dependent variable, I like to think of it as what are you trying to find in the table? What are you interested in? The y stuff in the table. Okay, so for example, I mean, if we were ever, if we were to set up this table and look at time and distance, Okay, so we have 1 second, 2 seconds. So like the Austin and Max problem. So let's say we had Max's, nope, let's do Austin's 45-meter head start. He was doing 1 meter every second, so 46, 47. Okay, if I'm interested, what's my independent, what's my dependent variable? We know seconds. Like I can find like 3 seconds. I can make that number in my table. 3 seconds. The question is, how far did he go? This is your dependent stuff. And we're going to use the independent to find that. Or in other words, what's in your X column is your independent. What's in your Y column is the dependent. Whatever you're trying to find out. Distance in this case is our dependent variable. Okay, and then I think we talked about, I'm going to go back up here real quick, that there was a point where the two kids were the same. And I'm going to get a different color here. Pick my orange color again. Okay, so at 5, we can see that at 5 hours worked, they were 25, and at 5 hours worked, they were 25. We are the same here. Easy to see in a table. Okay, so your warm-up for this problem, we're going to have you do on your own. We're going to look at, let's say, Integrity Apparel. Used to be Smitty's. But let's say we're charging per shirt. So we have number of shirts versus the cost for the shirts. Okay. So let's say if you get 0 shirts, the Integrity Apparel is going to charge you $30. Oh, $36. Let's say if you get 3 shirts, it's going to charge you $39.75. 5 shirts, $42.25. 8 shirts, $46. And then 10 shirts is going to be $48.50. Now, I've got some questions for you that I would like you to answer on your own, and we'll talk about that when we come back. So, how much for 12 shirts? Okay, question number 2, how many shirts can you buy? For, let's say, $120. My question marks here. Third question is the point $25.67.25 a solution. And then if it is, what does this point mean? And then I also want you to tell me some information about this situation. For example, I want to know what's the y-intercept. I want to know what's the coefficient. And I want you to write me the equation for this table. Okay, now be careful because notice here, your number of shirts are not increasing by 1. We're increasing by 3. So I'm telling you what's happening every 3 shirts. You want to find out what's happening every 1 shirt. What's it cost for 1 shirt? Okay, so take some time, figure that out. Once you get that all figured out, we're going to have you attempt 2.3 for your assignment after this, okay? So find your assignment 2.3, comparing costs.